In today's video, I'm going to be making a hanging shelf using all Dollar Tree supplies. For step 1, I am going to be staining my board using the color Espresso from Minwax, but if you don't have a stain, you can just mix some brown acrylic paint with some water and use it that way. For step 2, I drilled 2 holes in each corner of my board where I wanted to add my rope to hang my shelf. For step 3, I'm going to start by lining up my 3 boards to form my first shelf, but I'm going to flip them over so that I'm working with my wood glue and hot glue on the back. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my wood glue from the Dollar Tree to the side of my first board, glue that to the middle board, and then I'm going to flip that over and wipe off the excess wood glue so that I don't have too much to sand down. But when I flip it back over, I'm going to make sure that my boards are straight together so that they're lined up perfectly. And then I'm going to add my 5 Jenga blocks to the middle of the 2 boards that I just glued down using some wood glue and hot glue, just so that there's a temporary hold and a long-term hold on the Jenga blocks in the middle. And then I'm going to repeat that process for my board on the right side. For step 4, I'm going to take the white nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, untape one of the ends, and unwind it so that instead of being 3 pieces thick, it's only going to be 2 pieces thick. For step 5, I just took the spare piece of nautical rope that I had left over from those 2 pieces and wrapped it around both of my metal rings. 6, I wanted to add something a little different to my hanging shelf than I had seen on like Pinterest or Instagram for inspiration. So I went ahead and taped about 3 inches in from the right on my first shelf, and I did it to the left side for my second shelf, and I just painted it black using some Waverly acrylic paint in the color ink. For step 7, I wanted the shelf to be able to be used, and I didn't want my black acrylic paint to chip, so I did add a clear coat or a protective coat to the top of it using some polyacrylic that you get at Lowe's or Home Depot, and I added about 3 coats to each board. For step 8, I'm going to be putting my shelf together, and I'm going to begin by putting one side of my nautical rope through the top hole in my board, and then I'm going to add my metal ring on to the nautical rope, and then add some painter's tape to the second part of the rope so that it's easier to pull through the hole and do that. Then I wanted to measure off how long I wanted the top of my shelf to hang from the wall or the hooks that I hang it on. So at first I was using a Sharpie to measure, but my measurements weren't turning out properly. So I did take the pink metal hooks that you get from the Dollar Tree, measured those, and clipped them onto the rope where I wanted it to hang, and then pulled it through the hole until I got to the clip, and then I tied my knot at the bottom of my board. And then I'm going to repeat that process for when I add the second shelf on, but instead of making my nautical rope straight, I do cross it to make it into an X for the side of the second shelf. And if you continue to watch this tutorial, you'll see that shortly. And then I'm going to repeat the process and do that to the right side of my shelf. I did want to mention that I did take this shelf into another room throughout the whole process and level it on the wall with the hooks that I'd be using to hang it, just so that it was straight and looked right when it was hung up on the wall. And then also off camera, I did decide that I didn't like how bright the white nautical rope was against the shelf with the colors that I chose to go with. So I did end up painting my rope black with acrylic paint. And I will say, if I do this project again, I'll be spray painting my rope beforehand and then assembling my shelf, just so it saves me a little bit more time. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope it leaves you inspired to create some home decor of your own. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and would love to see more videos like this. If you decide to recreate this project, I would love to see how it turns out. Go ahead and tag me over on Instagram, and I will leave that link below in the description box along with my other social medias. I would love for you to join me for more home decor inspirations, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Bye everyone.